So using Redis as a pubsub system, which we're going to see in this video, will actually have two processes in Node.js, one publishing messages to define channels, and the other process will actually subscribe to that channel and consume those messages. So stick with me to find out more about this. Hello and what's up guys, Medium Guy here. In this video we're going to see how to create a pubsub system, which, as you might know, stands for publish, subscribe channels and send messages between backend services, specifically with the Redis with Node.js. So right before I jump into this video, don't forget to give a visit to my channel. I've got playlists and videos about cool stuff. So with that, let's jump into work. So as you can see in this total overview, we can have publishers and subscribers, and in the middle we have the Redis server, which is going to act as the message broker over here, and actually we can create as many channels as we need, and so the publishers and subscribers will be sorted out using these channels. So the messages that will be published to one specific channel won't be actually accessible through the subscribers that are subscribed to some other channels. And also, as we can see over here, we can have multiple subscribers to the same channel. So with that, let's jump into the code and see all these in action. So as you can see over here inside my package.json file, I've got three dependencies. One tiny HTTP package, which is going to create a very basic simple web server and listen for the HTTP requests. Next being the Redis, which is actually the package that we're going to use to create connections to the Redis server. And the next one, the milliparsec, is the package that is used in this project to actually parse the incoming request to JSON format. So the next file, I have the pub.js file. Inside this, I've created an app instance, which is imported from the tiny HTTP package. And next, I've created the Redis instance from the Redis package. And the next thing, I've injected the JSON, which is imported from the milliparsec as a middleware to the app instance. So the only route that this app is going to listen is the slash, and it is actually going to get some data through the request body, and actually it's going to use the redis.publish function, which will actually require two parameters. The first being the channel name, which I've passed some random channel name in here, and second the JSON in the string format. So I've actually passed the request.body to the json.stringify and passed it as the second parameter to the redis.publish. And as the last thing in this route, it is going to send 200 as the status, so there is no complications over here, there is no error handling or any other thing. So this might look a little bit different in real environments. So as the last thing over here, I have the app.listen in 3000 port, and as the callback function, I've just console log some string to the output. So actually, if I run this JS file, it is going to spin up a web server listening on port 3000, and any post request to the slash will actually fetch the data from the response.body and publish it to the Redis server. So actually, if I go to the terminal and say ls, I see my two files, and if I say node pub.js, this is actually going to make a connection to Redis. So I have my Redis server running on my local host with the default port and without any authentication. So I haven't passed any options over here when I want to make the Redis connection. So of course for you, if you have any authentication, if you are running on some other servers, you actually have to pass the required options over here. So the next I have the sub.js file, which again I have imported the Redis from the IO Redis and created the same connection to the same instance of the Redis server. And I have the main function over here in which I'm actually using the redis.subscribe function, and again this is going to require two parameters. I'll pass the channel name as the first parameter and next being the callback, which actually will have two parameters in it, one being error, second being the count. The error will have values if there is any errors connecting and subscribing to the defined channel over here, and count is the actual count of the channels that this function will be subscribed to. So by saying that and defining the channel and making the connection, we can now actually listen to the messages that is coming from that channel. And as the second parameter, we pass a callback function, which again has the channel name in it and the actual message that is received from that channel. So the only thing that I've done over here is just a console log, and the thing that is done over here is that json.parse of the message that is coming from the channel, because it'll come as string, so it needs to be parsed into JSON. So here in another terminal, I'll say node sub.js. So as you can see, it console logs subscribe to one channel. So my consumer is actually connected to the Redis server and subscribe to the given channel. So actually if I now make request to the localhost port 3000 and pass in some data through the request body, I should actually be able to see the message that is received from the publisher. So in another terminal using curl, I'm going to actually make requests. I'll set the header content type of application JSON, and request method will be post, and the data will be some random JSON. It can be any other values over here because there is no validations in the input. So I've passed name and country as a JSON, and the URL will be localhost 3000 with no path. So if I hit enter, I get OK as the result. I'll go to the publisher. I see that the request has been handled, and I get the sending message with the request body. And also if I go to the subscriber, I see that a message has received from the channel that this process is subscribed to, and I get the exact same message that I've posted to the publisher. So actually there is a point over here. If I go to the Redis instance that this whole thing is happening inside it, if I make the connection to it, and if I actually inspect the databases, if I hit refresh over here, I see that there is no data being stored in this. So like for example, if I kill the process for the subscriber, I'll make the request again, I get OK as the result. If I hit refresh again, I see that there is no data stored in the Redis server. So the thing that you have to consider over here is that if there is no subscribers, the message will be published to the Redis server and it'll be gone forever because there was no subscriber to subscribe those messages. So in order to solve this problem, we're going to actually use the Redis streams, and actually we're going to see it in the next video. I'll put the links down below. So actually using the Redis streams, the data will be stored in the Redis server, and whenever we have the stream listeners, the data will be there, and the listeners will actually get the data out of Redis and do the required process on it. So that's all for this video. I hope you learned something new in this one. If you have any questions, any recommendations, of course, go ahead and ask me in the comment section down below. I'll put all the codes inside my GitHub repository, which I'll put the link down below, so you'll be able to access it very easily. Just please don't forget to give a visit to my channel. I've got a lot of videos about cool technologies, and just don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that, I hope to see you in the next videos.